Country Cover Club, the country sports insurance company, has become the new sponsor of Country Sports TV. If you would like affordable country sports insurance, please click on the link below. If you add the code SUMMERALL2, you will get a £3 discount. Thank you very much to Country Cover Club for their sponsorship of Country Sports TV. Hello and welcome to Country Sports TV. Disturbing report on the BBC this morning about the police taking selfies with two black girls that had been murdered in a park. Now I'm getting very worried about some of our police. Now they've got an awful job, and I agree. They've not got a good job. But some of the people in the police force need to be sat on, controlled, because they are out of control. And I'll tell you a story that happened to me locally here. About 5 years ago, we had a guy in the village who used to shoot where he likes. Some people would call it poaching, but technically it's shooting without permission, because poaching is for game, for deer and for hare. But he was pigeon shooting. Now, the first incident where we caught him was that he had a piece of ground that had wheat on it. They'd cut the wheat and they were going to cut the field next door. Before they did that, he told the ground's rented out. It's not owned, the ground is not farmed by the farmer. The farmer rents the ground out through a land agent. So another farmer farms the ground. The guy told the farmer that farms the ground, the tenant, that the farmer allows him to shoot on the ground. He then told the farmer that owns the ground that the tenant farmer had given him permission to shoot. So he turns up with 6 guys in 4 Land Rovers, 4x4s. And there's an 8-acre field, and they're all in each corner, 2 in the middle and 2 in each corner, all firing at each other. And the farmer wants to throw him off, so he phones me. Can I go and film it? Them throwing him off. I was out at the time. I couldn't get back in time. And I got the full story. Turns out that the tenant farmer and the farmer were schoolmates. Although it's done through an agency, they're schoolmates. And they got each other on speed dial. So one rings the other one and said, what are you doing giving this plonker permission to shoot on my ground? I never gave him permission. Well, he said you did. Well, he said you gave him permission. No, I didn't, the other farmer says. Well, a bit more flowery language than that. So they go down and throw the guy off. I told the story on Facebook. The moral is that make sure you got permission to shoot on the ground before you get thrown off. He was lucky the police weren't called. Later, I found out that what he does is he phones the police control unit, tells them where he's shooting, so if he gets a complaint of him shooting where he's shooting illegally, the police won't come out because he's already told them and he's got permission to be there. You can't make this guy out. He's a cracker, mind you. So, we move on. The next year in the February, he's shooting in some wood above a golf course where he hasn't got permission to shoot. And I was walking the dog up round the camp. We got a Iron Age hill fort on the top of the hill. And I was just walking the dog up round and spoke to the guy who owns the house that owns the wood where he was shooting. And I said, hey, have you given this guy permission to shoot? Now, I'll put the video on here. I've deliberately distorted this video so that he can't be recognised. So, I asked the landowner if he'd given this plonker permission to shoot on the ground. Nobody shoots on us. They're vegetarians and vegans. They are totally anti-shooting. Nobody's allowed to shoot there. I've had run-ins with them before when I've been out walking around with the gun and they've seen me. Oh, you shouldn't be shooting that poor rabbit. But they told me, no one had permission to shoot on the ground. And if I see him again, would I let them know? So I said, yeah, no problem. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, it's like the reenactment of the OK Corral up there. Bang, 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 bang. And then it would start. So I got the binoculars out and had a look. Pigeon would fly over the top. Miles high, mind, too high to shoot. Bang, 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 as it went down the line of guns. I don't know how many there was, or if they were using automatic. There was a lot of them up there. So I phoned the landowner up that owns the wood, and I said, they're back again. Can you hear them? No, we can't hear them at all. What we found later was that there was a shadow, an acoustic shadow. The sound goes up the hill and goes over the house, but they can't hear it in the house. Now this happened on a battlefield in the Civil War in the United States. Somebody was down in a dip and they couldn't hear the guns firing in front of them. It's a phenomenon that I'd never come across before. But yeah, we got to the house. We could hear them shooting down the bottom as we drove up. We got to the house. We said hello. We went back into the back garden and the woods goes down and you couldn't hear a thing. Not a thing. And I said, well, they're still shooting down there. Well, the guy had just come out of hospital. He said, look, I'm not physically fit enough to walk down there at the moment. Can you go down and ask them to go? So I kindly got my little video camera. That's the video you're watching now. And I walked down through the woods. Saw one shooter with a dog with a couple of pigeons. And I said, who given you permission to shoot here? He said, oh, the guy down there did. We're shooting with him. So I walked down a bit further and then I found him. And there he is. Oh, the farmer's just asked us to step inside the wood. Well, you can see how far I've walked down. They're not just inside there, they're way inside the wood. So I kindly asked the gentleman to leave in fluent Anglo-Saxon and got rid of him. Now, what did the police do? On the first incident, where I put the comment on Facebook, I had 2 policemen turn up at my door telling me that I shouldn't be reporting this on Facebook as it's classed as harassment and I'm likely to be arrested. I said, but I didn't name the guy. And I'm still not naming the guy. I said I didn't name the guy. This is harassment. Anyway, the copper, or he looked like a copper anyway, he had no numbers on. And no hat. Just the blue shirt and the lapel had no numbers on it. So I couldn't identify him. He didn't identify himself. He got the Facebook piece of paper out, read the Facebook page that I'd written, found that there was no name on it, said, oh, don't let this happen again or else you'll be arrested, and walked off. And I said, well, The guy didn't have permission to shoot. Oh, yes, he did. He told us he did. So this is the problem with the police. Is they believe the criminals. And they don't find out what the truth is. On the second incident where we caught him shooting in the woods, where I threw him off, using very polite Anglo-Saxon language, I reported it to the police that I'd thrown him off, and I gave them a copy of the video. I had a police constable at my door. What I didn't know was the police constable was in the same Masonic lodge as the guy who's shooting. You see what's going to happen now, don't you? He took the information. I gave him the guy's phone number. The guy who owns the wood gave him his phone number. And he left. 3 months later, they came back with a sergeant. He came back. This time, one of my customers, Phil, who shoots with me, was in the kitchen with me having a cup of coffee. Luckily, when I was doing the filming, Phil was with me. He came up with me. I did not do it on my own. So, Phil stayed. And the policeman said, "Oh, can we talk to you on your own here?" And I said, "No. Phil was there on the day. He can explain what happened." So now the sergeant's there, the constable. I told the constable that I gave him the landowner's, the guy that owned the woods, phone number. "Oh, no, you didn't," he said. I said, "I gave it to you." The police did not even follow up on the landowner to ask if the guy that's shooting had permission. They relied on the guy telling them that he had permission to shoot on the ground. And then 3 months later again, the sergeant came back and said, "We've had a word with him and he's not going to do it again." So much for the local police. I got no respect for them at all. And this is what's happened to me. Now you've got this girl, these girls have been killed, and the police taking selfies. I think the police need sorting out, big time. You know, what are you going to do when law-abiding citizens like me don't trust the police? And when things happen, are we going to phone the police now? I don't know. Anyway, Ian, Country Sports TV, telling you another story from the fields. And there's more, I tell you. I got some cracking stories. Country Sports TV is campaigning to save our lead shot. And as such, we've produced a number of items that you can buy to help raise money to run a website and to help me do the videos. We've got a camo hat for Country Sports TV, if you want to go pigeon shooting. We've got a Save Our Lead Shot camo hat. We have a blue Save Our Lead Shot baseball cap. And you can also choose 6 other colours if you go onto eBay. We also have a mug in 2 sizes. It's got Country Sports TV on the front and then Save Our Lead Shot on both sides. Added to this, we've now got an enamelled mug, and very good quality one, for Save Our Lead Shot. There is a donation in the price for the Save Our Lead Shot campaign. And what we're going to do next is we're going to produce some button badges. Save Our Lead Shot button badges. It's not worth me selling one at a time, because I'm going to have to charge you 70 or 80 pence postage. And they're only £2 each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to produce them in 5s and 10s and put them on eBay. And if you buy 5, you can sell 4 of them to your friends and get some of your money back. Thank you very much for helping sponsor me. I can't do this on my own. And if anybody would like to help the campaign, please let me know. Message me on Facebook on the Save Our Lead Shop page, or message me privately on Facebook. No problem at all. Ian, Save Our Lead Shop campaign through Country Sports TV, saying thank you very much for your help.